Did you know that Winnie the Pooh's original name was Edward?
I didn't know that.
Okay, well, now you do. Hi, I'm Azure.
And I'm Maya.
And this is Clueless and Connoisseur. And today, I am the connoisseur.
And I'm the clueless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the show today is The New Adventures of Winnie the Pooh, which you can find on Disney. It was an 80s show, one of my favorites. Yeah, so basically, what like background do you have like with Winnie the Pooh?
So I really loved Winnie the Pooh as a kid. I just really loved Winnie the Pooh as a kid. But I was like a small kid, so like before elementary school age. So I really loved Winnie the Pooh, but I don't really remember a lot about like anything about it. Like I remember like the characters and like their basic personalities, but like that's it. And I never watched the show. So
okay, well there's like a lot of movies, so do your homework.
Oh, well, I've seen the movies. I've seen the movies. I just don't remember them.
Get educated. When I was little, I used to go over to my great-grandma's house a lot, and she had one of these book sets, and she would read them to me because I would demand her to. And I think my favorite one was the pink one, which I think is
It's backwards for me.
When we were very young. So, whatever the pink one is, because I liked it because it was pink. And yeah,
real.
That was my childhood. And now I just kind of grew up latched onto that. So yeah. So today's episode is episode 4, which is Find Her, Keep Her. And basically it's about our very, very good friend Rabbit. And basically one winter day, he is tending to his garden of carrots, and he ends up saving this very small bird, this little blue bird named Cassie. And that's kind of like how the whole episode goes, is just Rabbit raising this little bird, but realizing he's a rabbit and she's a bird, and he can't really, Rabbit can't really raise a bird. I want to hear your thoughts first.
So I'm gonna say right off, I cried.
I cry every time.
Literally, I again never watched the series, never watched a single episode, but I did watch Winnie the Pooh. So it's like I'm familiar with the characters. I cried. Real tears went down my face when I watched this.
No, that's so real.
Because also, I'm pretty sure. Again, I don't like remember anything because I was like a small kid when I really liked Winnie the Pooh. I'm pretty sure Rabbit was one of my favorites. So seeing like Rabbit in like emotional distress, I was like, oh my god! Like I was like crying. And, like, another thing I want to say, too, is, like, it really, like, took me back to, like, my childhood. Like, I felt like a little kid again, like, watching it. Because, I really loved, like, Winnie the Pooh. I have a Winnie the Pooh plush somewhere in my home. Like, it was, like, one of the first, like, things I was ever given, like, as a child. Like, I literally, like, but, like, again, like, I haven't, like, interacted with him much in recent years.
No, really, yeah.
So, like, it really just, like, took me back. And it made me feel, like, really, like, I was very emotional.
Yeah.
I was very emotional.
That is one of the episodes I remember vividly from my childhood, if not the only episode. And I just remember every time I watched it growing up, it made me so emotionally distraught. Because I was like, and especially the ending, if you remember the ending where Pooh and Piglet are talking about love, and like, if I think Piglet goes something like,
the most peculiar thing. For the longest time, I thought Rabbit didn't like her.
And then Pooh goes like,
you know, Piglet, sometimes people care too much.
And it just kind of pans over to
I
Rabbit
know, it was so
waiting for Cassie to come back.
It was so sad. I was so upset.
I remember that so, like, I can picture it perfectly in my head.
Literally.
And, like, it puts me into a lot of emotional turmoil, literally. Growing up, especially when growing up and turning back to that episode too. Guys, oh my gosh.
No, I just chose, I was like, oh yeah, for my first episode, I'm just going to choose like the first episode. So like you could get like introduced with it. And then you're like, for my first episode, I'm going to destroy you. I was like, this is so sad. I was like,
And I love Rabbit, too. Rabbit's such, like, one of my favorite characters.
He's one of my favorites, which is why it upset me even more.
No one ever really talks about Rabbit. And
Right?
Like,
thank you.
They always talk about Piglet and Pooh and Tigger, and those are, like, the big
Eeyore.
ones. And and Eeyore.
I love Eeyore.
But no one ever talks about Rabbit or Owl or Kanga
I love Owl.
Roo.
I was so happy when Owl showed up because I also loved Owl. And I was like, oh my God, it's Owl. I literally, like, that's how I felt watching this episode. I was like, oh my God. It's like, I literally just felt like a kid again. Like, I was like, it was so sweet.
And Roo is one of my favorite characters. So any movie about, like, or any movie or episode or, like, anything with Roo in it is just, I love Roo and Kanga. They're my favorites, like, ever. I appreciate them very much. And I am very happy that the first episode we watched was one with Rabbit, because Rabbit is just, I think he's a little relatable. No, Rabbit, he's so fun, and he's kind of, like, in the middle of, like, everyone's favorite and characters nobody really knows. And it makes me a little sad, too, because if you know the Winnie the Pooh lore, they're all stuffed animals. Don't laugh. I'm sorry. If you know the Winnie the Pooh lore, they're all stuffed animals in Christopher Robin's, like, memory and, like, kind of books, I guess, if you really think about it. So the fact that, like, people kind of recognize, like, the 4 characters and then, like, the others are, like, lesser known makes me really sad, because they're all of Christopher Robin's stuffed animals, and he loves them all very much equally. And that's what I like about, like, Winnie the Pooh, the New Adventures with Winnie the Pooh, is because all the episodes don't focus on just Winnie the Pooh or just Piglet or Tiger. There's, like, other episodes that have, with other characters getting, like, more focus.
I really like, I think that's why a reason I like Batman so much is because it's something about, like, the format of, like, a TV show that's episodic is it's, like, you have just, like, so much free reign to just explore, like, other characters. So, like, I that's, like, something I did really like about this show, because I was going into it fully expecting just, like, a Winnie the Pooh episode, and he was, like, barely in it. I was like, oh, like, but it was, like, a pleasant surprise too. Like, I wasn't even upset. I was like, it's Rabbit, like, you know, like, so it was sweet. Yeah.
And it's just amazing how, like, the setting and how they interact with each other. It shows what kind of characters they are. And, like, if you barely know anything about Rabbit, he's just this guy who's, like, very controlling, and he wants everything to be, like, organized in his own way. And, you know, he gets very irritated when something is messed up. But if you watch episode 4, Find Your Keeper, you see, like, Cassie is messing everything up, and, you know, he gets tired of it. But the minute he leaves the house to go tend to his garden, leaving Cassie with Piglet and Pooh, Cassie starts to cry because she's a little baby. And Rabbit immediately comes back in. Because, you know, he's got the mother instinct. He's got the mother instinct. And even though the house is messed up, even though everything is messed up, he is still, like, caring for this little bird that he loves so dearly. And it kind of just adds on to, like, the fact that Rabbit isn't just this guy who's so annoyed when everything goes wrong. He genuinely cares for everyone.
Yeah, no, I really appreciated, like, I think it was really good at characterizing that, like, especially, like, for, like, a kid's show. Like, it was really good. I was like, oh my God, like, these are, like, complicated issues. Like, you know, like, I was, like, upset. Like, I literally was so upset watching this episode. I was so distraught. Why? How could you do this to me?
I'm sorry.
I showed you a silly little episode with a silly little Batman, man bat, and then you give me this? What? That's evil.
Well, I mean, stay tuned. There's gonna be more evil things.
Speaking of staying tuned, we gave a hint last week.
We gave a hint last week about Winnie the Pooh, and if you got it, because the black had nothing to do with it. It was just the red.
It was a trick.
I tricked you guys.
We're going to give another hint for next week. So next week it'll be Batman again, because we're just sticking with consistent shows. Yeah. And the episode I will be showing is a character's origin story, and that character is very dear to me. And if you know me very well, I probably just spoiled it immediately, so it won't be a very good surprise. But we'll see. If you don't know me very well, then you'll be surprised, or you just gotta guess. So yeah.
So that's next week, I guess. Yeah.
Wow, I'm pretty clueless.
Well, at least I'm a good connoisseur.